Hey guys, we're getting ready to getting growthy in here. Okay, here we are.
Hello, sir. How's it going? Adam, is this you?
Yes, sir. Doing good, Daddy Phil. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. Feeling great. It's a bit too hot, but other than that, it feels great. I hope I'm coming in nicely. Very sound and clear. All right. Well, I'm seeing some of the familiar faces down in the listeners. Guys, I see you. You are scheduled to speak today, so please make sure to send in a request. For everybody else, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the Infinion spaces. Today we're talking about AI native dApps, the centralized applications that are AI native. Really interesting stuff. Can't wait to get into it. But before then, we need to pull up all the speakers on the stage. Let me see. Okay, all right. We're getting some requests finally. Nice. Okay, this feels good. Awesome. Adam, where are you based at, by the way? Is that okay if I ask you that? Guess not. Let's go around the room and
Sorry,
introduce.
sorry. I was actually just reposting the space there and I couldn't unmute.
Oh,
Um,
no worries.
I was actually living in California for like the last 12 years, but I've just moved to Portugal. So talking about hot,
Oh,
it's pretty hot.
nice. Yeah, it must be really hard. Right now we've got oh man, I'm in Eastern Europe, so yeah. I've been to Lisbon just recently at the start of June. We were at the what was it called, NFC conference. So yeah, it was already hot. I'm happy I didn't arrive now. Let's
Yeah, that's true. It
well,
is.
Lisbon has the lowest taxes as well, right? For foreign work, yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good city, and Portugal is very crypto friendly as well. So it was part of my move decision.
Yeah, nice, awesome. Well, glad to have you here, sir. Appreciate you jumping in and launching and allowing us to have this conversation. Today, we're talking about AI native dApps. What can we do about it? What should we know about them? Let's introduce some of our speakers. We've got Vitamin AI as it's his first on my screen. Vitamin, let's start with you.
GM guys. This is Iman this side from Vitamin AI. I'm working as a partnership manager here. So Vitamin AI is AI agent marketplace. Basically, you can hire AI agents on our marketplace, and also we are planning to launch soon. So yeah, stay tuned for the news. And really excited for this space.
Awesome, excited to have you. Let's go over to Mr. PAI3. Pradeep, how's it going?
Doing great. Thank you for having us. And GM, everyone. This will be an awesome space. I see a lot of wonderful speakers lined up here, Miai, 3NS, Vitamin. So looking forward to this. Thanks for pulling this together. A little bit of introduction about PI3. It's a containerized edge AI network. It's designed to allow professionals to use AI in their business setting and to allow their consumers to interact with AI in a safe manner where both parties can protect their data and to do so in a way that is compliant. So if you're a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, you can't and shouldn't be uploading client information into OpenAI or XAI or anything else. So we are an alternative to centralized AI systems with a fully community hosted, operated, and governed ecosystem that allows people to build, use, verify, review, monitor, and deploy AI agents and models in the ecosystem so that you don't have to go to centralized AI. Our Pi3 node sale is about to launch, so we are super excited. Check us out on pi3.ai. But coming back to this X space, what a great topic and what a great host. So looking forward to it. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, sir. Always love to have you on our spaces. You are the core contributor, so to speak, just because you have such a huge amount of knowledge. Glad to have you, sir. Miai, welcome. Okay, how's it going? Is it hot as well in Prague?
Hi, guys. Good morning, good afternoon. It is actually raining. It's I really don't like the heat, but it's raining this week, so it's good. Like for me, I like it at least. Yeah. So my name is Kay. I am based in Prague. We are a project called MIAI, and basically we're a startup company out of Prague. We specialize or focus on marketing when it comes to B2B, and also mainly focusing on digital AI workflow automation for Web2 services. And MIAI is our first Web3 official project that we are trying to develop as an agentic AI system that can handle multiple AI agents at the same time, and where users or creators in this case will be able to create their own AI system or automation system, and then they'll be able to sell it whether to their B2B partners or even B2C systems, or onboard it on their existing platform. So yeah, Mia, like the plan is to make her the go-to place where people can transact and do all those exchanges in Web3 environment and infrastructure along with AI products. Yeah, that is it in short. Yeah, and great speakers here. Yeah, I'm very excited about today's topic and happy to be here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let's welcome 3NS Domains as well. 3NS, how's it going?
Hello, everybody. Great to be here. I am Alex. I am community manager of 3NS, and 3NS is bringing you the .web3 domains. These .web3 domains are, in fact, AIs that you can connect to your front-facing client, where they can communicate with your product. That is constantly being updated using the links that you provide to it, to all your information of your websites or your personal information if you're like self-employed. So the AI is associated with the domain itself, not, of course, your private conversations that you have with it and that you use to train it, but the public links that you associate with your web page, and then you can, of course, use it to as a front page to display your product, your company, uh, your own hobbies, for example, with the help of AI that is constantly being updated depending on the links that you provide to it. So it's a kind of a link tree that thinks and that communicates and that can help you provide the most accurate and updated information to your clients, for example. And we're very happy to be here.
Absolutely stoked to have you, sir. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And last but certainly not least, Andrew from People. How's it going, Andrew?
Hello, hello. How is going, guys? All good, all good. So, GM friends, I'm super excited to be here. I'm one of the builders behind the People. We are a meme coin with utility, a platform where we focus on real tools for the real user in Web3. While we're not an AI native project ourselves, we're huge believers in building simple and powerful apps that can actually help the people. We have launched the Whaler, the copy trade, the most successful as well in real time. We have the searcher, a smart research tool for filter noise and find out what is going on in the Web3 space. We have jobs and grants from everything that people are offering right now, projects especially, and we have a lot more ongoing. So we're excited to see how AI native dApps evolve and how we can integrate with these the best of them to give our user more firepower. So let's get started, fam.
All right, let's do it. Before we dive into today's topic, which is really interesting, and I want to learn more and more from you guys, I want to ask Adam if you'd be kind enough to introduce Infinion, what Infinion does, and how you guys are different. For those that don't know, listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Great to have all these speakers here again. Love what all these projects are doing in the space. All the innovation is incredible. Just wanna say that first. So shout out to all of you for coming on the space and getting into the topic. So just a quick bit about Infinion. We're a layer 2 blockchain built on Ethereum. And what makes us different to any layer 2 chains out there, or any blockchains out there, is we have a very specialized contract, which is our underlying asset that all tokens are paired with. And this contract uses allocated gas fees throughout the entire blockchain that are recycled back into that contract. And so it constantly raises in value, thus raising the value of every token paired with it. So the whole ethos of the Infinion blockchain and the Infinion ecosystem as a whole is that we always want to recycle everything back into the community, back into the ecosystem, so that it benefits everyone that builds on chain, everyone that launches on chain. That is the main focus of it. And I'll drop our white paper up there just so anybody can go in there, take a look. It's really good. It's really intuitive. It gives you a good overview of everything we're creating. We do have an entire suite of products. We've got our own native dApp, our own native DEX, bridge, our own wallet. We have our own social site for kind of all things crypto. It's not just specifically Infinion, which is growing by the day. We're developing out multiple other tools that other projects can use in the space, integrating AI in specific ones as well right now. And one of our flagship products is now live. It's Lunar Pump Fund. You can see it here. It's also one of the co-hosts. It's a multi-chain token launcher currently supporting 3 VM chains, obviously Infinion, BNB, and Base. We hate giving dates. We're probably about a week out from launching for integrating Solana on there as well. And that follows the whole ethos of the blockchain. We want to recycle stuff back. We want to make it safe for people to launch tokens. We want to help them avoid sniper bots. So we have some incredible features built in there. One of them is the ICO feature that allows people, everybody in the community, strong community, to get in there all at the same price point. So no one's dumping once you bond, and it's done on the first block. The entire community buy is done on the first block and distributed evenly to everybody who's involved in it in the community. So in that way, your project doesn't get sniped. We all know how terrible that is. So yeah, we've got loads of really, really cool stuff going on right now. Check out the white paper up top. I led it at that. Looking forward to the conversation. Thanks everyone for coming, and always thank you, Daddy Phil, for hosting this one.
Thank you, sir. Thanks so much. Appreciate a good, nice introduction. I really like Infineon's tokenomics, how you guys manage, pumps and how you reinvest, so to speak, back to your projects. I really like that. That is a really good incentive play, or incentivizing you're a platform and you're incentivizing others to build on your platform. I really like that. We talked about incentives last week as well, so it's a very good conversation. I highly suggest everyone go and listen to the previous space we did. We do this weekly. We do this every single week at 1 p.m. UTC on a Tuesday. Let me dive in with the first question. First question is, what makes a dApp truly AI native instead of AI just being integrated into the dApp? Where is the line between superficial and structural intelligence? Vitamin, I see your hand up. Seem to have a lot of knowledge. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So for me, a truly AI native dApp does not just bolt an AI model onto an existing flow. It's actually designed around intelligence as a core capability. So like if you just put ChatGPT into a dApp to answer FAQs, that's called AI integrated. But if your smart contracts, governance, or gameplay fundamentally rely on agents that learn, adapt, or even co-create with the user, that's AI native. So the actual line here is, does the AI merely assist humans or does it also act as a participant? AI native dApps embed intelligence into the heart of their functionality. So without the AI, the app would break or lose meaning. But I would also love to give an example. For example, a decentralized prediction market where AI agents analyze data, place autonomous bets, and even adjust the odds in real time. That's AI native. So yeah, that's my answer on it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, AI integration does not mean that it is on the fundamental level of the dApp. Um, Technically speaking, let's just explain some of the technical aspects. Can an AI native design challenge the very assumption of how we actually build decentralized systems, such as we got static contracts, fixed logics, or some rigid incentives? People, Andrew, do you have some knowledge on this?
Absolutely. So that's a very great question. So we at People we actually talk about this a lot. For us, an AI native app, dApp app, however we call it, means that AI isn't just an extra feature. It's like the foundation of it. So is there the entire experience, logic, and even on-chain interaction depends on AI from the ground up. Thinking of agents that trade anonymously. So AI generating content that's mined directly on chain, or entire DAOs that operate using large models to vote and make decisions. So if you remove the AI, the dApps literally wouldn't work. So now compare with the AI integrated dApp, which is where most of the space is today. These are great platforms that are using AI to enhance features like smart dashboard, better UX, even chatbots or copywriting tools. But if you unplug the AI, the core products are still running. So that's a better approach. So AI native is AI as infrastructure, as AI integrated is just AI as an enhancement. So we are not building these tools right now, but we support AI native products. So we are definitely looking on this in the space today.
All right, interesting. Yeah. What are some of the products that, if you can name, some decentralized systems or applications? Really curious. Pradeep, would you like to chime in? I'm really curious about how you guys build and approach these, especially from a decentralization standpoint when we're talking about AI.
Well, thank you. I think this is a very profound question that has many dimensions, but the one fundamental attribute that I think AI native apps, dApps, need to have is it needs to be intent driven rather than logic driven. Right, most of the applications or all computing in the world today works where you define a flow, a process, and you program it, and then the user adapts to that logic. You use the logic. You don't influence it as a user. If we were to think of truly AI powered apps, the app should be driven by the intent of the user, what the user wants to accomplish. And then the flow should be malleable. It should evolve and adapt to the user preferences. So instead of thinking of it as logic, UI, UX, application equals application that you use, you state the intent to the AI app, what AI native app, what do you want to accomplish? And then the app uses a variety of tools and methods and patterns of compute to get you to that intent. So I think that's going to be a true AI powered app where you are not pre-programming a flow, but you're essentially creating a set of tools that are smart enough to collaborate to solve the problem that the user wishes to solve in a way that's personalized. And that's nirvana.
So, okay, that's the interesting part. You're mentioning. Sorry to interrupt. You mentioned one thing that's very interesting to me. That it's an AI driven algorithm. So um, let's unpack that a little bit. How is that different from some website, let's say, that I go to and it has a built-in chatbot, for example? How is it different from, let's say, a AI agent that I might use?
Yeah, great question. So let's take a simple one. And of course, this is my view. So you today, I travel a lot, so I use Kayak as a very common feature to go browse flights, compare, duration, landing time, overnight,
I
whatnot.
myself am a Skyscanner guy,
Right,
but yeah.
Skyscanner, right? There are a bunch of tools similar where you have a lot of filters on the left, and you can come in and you can do a lot of pretty intelligent siphoning of segmentation of what flights you want to fly, and then in the end, you basically click through and you go to the company's website or some booking agency like Priceline or whoever, Expedia, and you book through them. And you could add AI agents to this to maybe recommend better flights to you, maybe remember your flying patterns and narrow down the flight choices, but the flow is still a process driven, that you follow this process. It can get AI agentified even the agent could do the work for you, a lot of this work. So that's not a native AI app. A native AI app would be the opposite. I would say, look, I want to go from Washington, D.C., where I am, to London, and need to have a meeting. I'm going to this conference in a week's time. Figure out how to get me there. In that scenario, it's looking at a whole host of tools and business and data points to determine my best options to get there. And you're not really
Okay,
telling
so
it to
he
book a
will
flight.
okay, right. So you'll tell it that, okay, I've got a London conference coming up. So it will look through, let's say, Kayak, Skyscanner, Opado, all other platforms, and it will give you like an analysis. And plus, for example, it will show you some options on Airbnb and Booking. Is that like how I see it? It's like a personal assistant for this specific task.
Yeah, and if you take it further,
Mhm.
it evaluates, other factors that we would think about as a human being if you're really good in planning, such as, what time do you leave? Do you fly from an airport near here and from Dallas, or do you drive to
Oh, wow.
BWI?
That's
What's
cool.
the cost of taking Uber to BWI, and will you be in rush hour traffic? It's an intent. The intention is to get me to London as comfortably and as cost effectively with as little wastage of my time. That intent-driven AI app works very differently. It's going to adapt to all the other factors that the flight booking agent will not. So in that one example, you have a process-driven app where you can go search for flights, you can filter them, you can sort them, and then you can activate an agent to book them for you. That's a flow-driven thing. That's traditional applications. But if you look at truly AI native app, it should solve the problem for you rather than walk you through a process and just hold your hand while you walk through the process. To me, that's native AI. That's one definition. The other definition, of course, is that it needs to, in my mind, AI requires fundamentally, other than personalization and intent driven, the last attribute of this AI needs to be that it really needs to incorporate, as I think Vitamin said at the beginning, intelligence is not an bolt on. Intelligence is inherent to the dApp in the sense that it is effectively built around an intelligence model rather than plugging in intelligence to support a flow. The intelligence is the app in that sense, which goes back to my point number one. AI apps need to be intent driven, not flow driven.
Oh, okay. Wow. That is some cool cool examples you gave. Thank you, Pradeep. Um in
My
terms
pleasure.
of in terms of intent driven, I'm really curious if we can have a world of AI native dApps where where does the agency go? Because if you don't specify an intent, is there an output? And this could be like a philosophical question, but it could also be that AI might offer us something that we haven't thought about before. Although I tend to not um, categorize AI in that perspective. Like I try not to zone in only for a revelationary approach. Every time you ask something to an AI, it it won't give you a like a groundbreaking insight. It's more into the everyday. And when you're saying Pradeep, and forgive me if I'm misunderstanding, you're saying that it's intent driven in a sense that it eliminates some of the problems that a AI interface or AI integrated product can't. Do we have some examples? Really curious if we have some examples of at this like next level. For example, let's ask Miai. Miai, what do you think?
Yeah. So just hold on. Give me sorry. Okay.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah. I just fixed
you're
it.
back.
Sorry. my mic was broken. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I don't like to be exactly for this a good example would be, I mean, I have some other like that are more related to MII. But personally, for example, me and my team, like the team that I'm working with, they built me actually for our private fund trading. Since I think I told you this, I'm trading mostly, and like so we created like three systems. Like it's you don't call it an AI because it's not an AI, but it's more like an intelligent like. It's not like a software, but it's not also because all of it is like a messed up backend. A lot of information coming in, and it has to filter it out, identify the right thing, and then automate till the point that I would be the one only executing the trade. So we have something like that, for example, that's already working. So it automatically every minute, every hour, whenever there's a good setup, I will always get notified. So I will be the one that get to decide whether to take that trade or not trade it. So there is a system, but if you want to sell it or if you want to share it to some to the outside world, it will be very messy and for growing it, it's complicated for now. That's why we're not doing anything. We're just using it for our own. But when it comes to the other things that Pradeep also mentioned, a lot of good points. Most apps today, even in crypto, are like, I would say, in my opinion, they're like vending machine. So you push a button and then you get results, right? You choose something, and nothing happens until you do that first step and act to it. But the model, like this model, is like it's kind of dying slowly. Not a lot of people using it, or if they're using it, then it will just be like degens or any people that are like been in the crypto space. So the future is not about click and wait, but it should be more about apps, as Pradeep also mentioned it, that think and they act before you even ask any question. So it's like, for example, even for the trading part, they're always constantly working 24/7, preparing, and it's up to you to take it or not take it. But in the future, okay, you can give it fully autonomous, action, and then it will always be trading. But then again, I don't know if we have reached that level of just 100% trusting the AI all the time. And when AI, in this case, becomes the core logic, the protocol itself kind of changes. And it stops being passive and it starts being like agentic. And this is what we're also doing in MII to make a system that can control other like separate AI entities in this case, which would be much more easier. So this agentic system would have the highest competing power, like space, and also decision making, so that it can manage the other AIs. Then you don't even need the people at that moment. But again, not in that fully like stage. Like we're not there yet, but still it's going. I think in the next 5 years we will reach that level. And if we implement that, for example, I mean, you can implement that with let's say thousands of bots, like thousands of AI agents, but you can't go to millions. And if you are capable of doing that, then you will be anticipating your intent, learn from the habits, and also optimize actions across multi-chain. Like in this case, if you want to do trades on Base, on Solana, and everything, so everything will be super fast, and the system will automatically know what you are supposed to do without you even thinking. So this is very high level, which still now I think will require 2 3 people moving a lot of wallets, funds, and also losing fees and gas, like in gas fees and so on. So I mean, for real world example, again, I'll try to make this short. With MII, for example, what we're doing right now is, for example, let's say I'm a creator, okay, managing content, dropping, picking anything, like it could be minting for anything. Today I'm logging in 5 dashboards, like 5 different, like it could be Discord, Telegram, or different platforms. And tomorrow I just say drop let's say a gated version to my top funds, or what, something like something unique. And it like when I do this, it's always being recorded, and the app already knows what is needed in the future. So it will always us anticipate, okay, this part of like every month, for example, I need to do this to keep the engagement high, to make these people feel like they are, in our group, or to reward them, or that everyone needs to make money, something like this. And then like if we keep doing this, I mean, the system becomes so they don't just wait for clicks that moment, and they become like they learn your style, your strategy, your voice, and then they act like you would in this scenario. And you introduce, let's say, a character to it, like MiAI, for example, a voice, a personal assistant that you can download on your phone, like what Grok is doing right now with this personal avatars. Then imagine you have someone that you can see, and later on you will be able to trust, will tell you, okay, I'm going to do today this tasks for you, and this week we need to post 3 giveaways and this kind of stuff, and I'll organize it. Only thing you need to do is just fund the wallet or something, and then it will completely do everything for you and give you every day, let's say, update or whenever something is finished. And the big vision in this case is, again, it's not about dApps with AI as a sidekick, but it should be like dApps, like a decentralized apps, becoming like your thinking partners, and that, like, always over time they stop asking you what to do and start asking like what outcome you want. In this case, this is a very difficult question that we, should address always, and the result will be always apps that like adapt, and they're like your teammates and not tools, and you don't need to even spend too much money. I mean, of course, you'll spend money to setting it this up, but then you don't even need to communicate with other people anymore at some point. You'll just, tell the AI, and the AI will do everything. And I mean, the so this is just the last thing. And can we, like, the last as a closer would be, like, if we can build like protocols that know us better, in this case at least know us not as a human but as what we want to achieve in terms of goals, then we know these systems will eventually know more about us than we do, and what we want to do, and they will basically try their, like, they will always try to achieve 100% win rate from their perspective. So as long as you get the message right to them, they will do everything to make it right. So which is safer, no human error, and you will still be hands-on involved because you are the creator, or you are the one that comes up with the idea. So you're still in control, like in this manner, but you let the AI do everything. So I mean, this is the goal, even with me and MiAI. And if you solve this, and if you are like the first people to be able to be in this, like in this group, then you will benefit a lot, because later on, eventually, it will be again like like a Shopify store. Everyone will be doing it, and then I don't know how that will affect the system down the road. But yeah, this is what I
Well, that's
think.
yeah, exactly. Great take, Miyai. And that's my point. How will this affect? It's really difficult for me to imagine a scenario, or not only a scenario, maybe I can imagine a scenario, but not the overall life, how it will look like when we have AI that is further than it is right now. I mean,
Uh, uh,
marginally further. Because we're
yeah,
talking
but
about
I
like, oh,
will.
it's going to do everything for us.
Right.
But
No, it's
like,
not going to be doing everything for you. Like, I mean, of course, it will because, for example, for trading, imagine, like, let's say I'm not doing even this projects or anything. Before,
Mhm.
I would be spending a lot of time just trading
But
and
where is the
analyzing.
edge if it's trading and analyzing everything for everyone? Where is the edge then? You know, how do we win? Everybody is winning all the time.
No,
You
it's
know
so
what
this
you
is
know what
the
I'm gonna
thing.
say?
The way it's analyzing is based on my sets of rules, right? So I have a predefined set of rules that
But
I
how is that
assume.
different
Then
from the tools that we have today? If you set it up, if
okay,
you
so
have, you
So
know,
so you can, let's say, like, even successful traders, they all see the same chart, right? I mean, I'm not saying about like, forget about people who can move the market. They will always know what is coming. But for other traders or scalpers or following the price, let's say Bitcoin, Ethereum, we can see the same chart, and it's all about what you would do. For example, you check, let's say, simple one, you will check the VWAP, the volume, and then check Elliott waves or even RSI, whatever it is. So you take into consideration those things, and I have different approach. Everyone has their own different approach, and that's why trading still, like, the charts will always go up and down. But at the same time, it's all about going in and out, and which one will be the beneficial combining this, let's say, strategies. And this is the system that you need to come up by yourself from, experience. And then after you come up with that experience, you tell the AI will do the testing, will I like bug testing or whatever, because not every system will last forever, right? So it's always a continuous upgrade to it. And then after it gathers that information, it will start implementing it and try to make it accurate as possible for you and give you the feedback every day. So that's, for example, what I'm getting based on my strategy, based on what I've been updating for the past, I don't know, like 5 years almost. I have some things that I like are working and safer for me. And I've told, like, we've added it into the system, and that system is looking only things similar to that. And like, it's very hard to find that
Right.
exact style. Like, you can't, like,
Yeah.
you can find it, but there's not
So
going to be
it
thousands of
still
people.
takes time. It just takes less technical knowledge from your side, from the user side. You
Yes,
don't need to know everything. Yeah.
you
Okay,
don't
that
need to
makes
know, but
sense.
you just need to find, let's like, you found the gold. Let's say you find the gold, and you know for sure this setup will work, but you can't catch that setup all the time. The AI job now is to scrub all platforms, or like let's say trading pairs, and then find that gold or that exact setup. And whenever that exact setup is found, it will immediately notify you so you can enter and then get out as soon as possible. And then you're not stuck only in one coin. You're like jumping from
Right.
coin
Yeah,
to
I got
coin.
it. I got
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah,
My
yeah.
point is, I'm trying to always stay away from the trading conversation because trade. It's like we're still screaming into the same echo chamber that was in, when was it, like 2021, 2022, even 2023, when where everybody was it's like 50,000 people that are actually trading. The rest are using products and using technology, and that's what I usually try to focus on, because the majority of people, if we're talking about uh, mass adoption, and if this is what we want, majority of people are not traders. They're just users of technology. So I'm really curious about those applications as well. Let's hear it from 3NS Domains, because they haven't spoken before, and we can throw it over back to Pradeep. Go ahead, 3NS.
Yes, thank you. So, regarding 3NS, I wanted to talk about our example as we are using this decentralized naming service for Web3 domains that, unlike traditional domain systems, 3NS is using AI to transform the domains into dynamic digital assets that have real utility. They're not just wallet masks. So, imagine AI powered domain resolution that optimizes routing based on network conditions or user preferences, all executed on chain in transparent, trustless way. So the TNS AI is AI native because AI just is not just a side feature; really is the heart of the system. It really redefines how Web3 naming works. So 3NS uses AI to predict and prioritize domain resolutions, ensuring faster, more secure connections. All the logic is stored immutably on the blockchain. Um, so integrating this AI in a decentralized architecture, uh, you can also create a personal connection to the people visiting the website, as it is trained on your data that you feed it behind and adapts automatically. And not only that, you have the option to communicate with not one but any AI model that you want to use from our available database. So you can find the model that really fits best for the way you want to communicate. That you find is best at reading the data that you supply to it. And as you train it, as you give it links that are constantly being read, for instance, the data on your website, new products you update on your website, anyone talking to your bot will automatically know about those products, and that information will be readily available as the bot is constantly monitoring those links and that information that you provide to it. So it's a bit set it and forget it. You give it the links, you train it a bit, and now everyone can come chat to your bot. Given that you fed it the right links that have the right information from your website, your products, your uh, anything you want, could be your hobbies, could be um, and so it works for anyone in any specter of your interests, as long as you fed it those right links and the ability to read from the right places and train it to speak and act the way you want. So after that, you can just use it as a personal communication to any client or any person that is interested on your on your domain, on the subject of your domain. And of course, if you own then a valuable domain, something that becomes very interesting, it is all on blockchain. It's an NFT. You can sell your not your private information, but all the previous clients information, previous people that chatted with the bot, all that information can be and is stored with the NFT. So this really creates an app that is really centered around the AI.
All right, nice. Okay, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Some interesting, really, really interesting points. Pradeep, I saw your hand go up. Now it's not up, I believe. Did you want to add to what Miai was saying and 3NS as well?
Yeah, no, both of them made really good points. I do want to come back to what Miyai was saying, and I think there is one thing we need to keep in mind is, AI is a path to normalization of all human knowledge. So, in the sense that if I have some unique idea and I use AI agents to execute that idea, in the most likely scenario, AI will learn that idea, and then it will serve other users who didn't have that idea, incorporating those uniqueness factors. So AI, in many ways, is a cumulative impact of everybody's uniqueness, which makes us less and less unique. So you asked a question, which when I raised my hand, was really response to your question, which was, what would make me different? And actually, that is a huge question in terms of how AI is structured. If we have centralized AI, then all our uniqueness will ultimately blend in to this AI engine or engines, which then know all our uniqueness, which makes us not unique anymore at all. So if I have a great trading technique that I teach my agent to do, and that agent uses a model to implement that technique, that model will learn that technique. So then somebody else calling upon the model to come up with a great trading technique will know that technique fundamentally. So one of the big risks of AI in a highly centralized manner is that it actually eliminates our unique elements. And it even raises the question, what makes us different as human beings? If AI knows everything about everything and everyone, then what makes me different than anybody else? And in fact, there's a book that Eric Schmidt and Henry Kissinger wrote recently, where they talk about this. It's I think the book is called The Post-AI World. Eric Schmidt is the former CEO and chairman of Google, and Henry Kissinger. It's called The Age of AI, Our Human Future. And they talk about this very clearly, that AI accumulates all our unique elements and normalizes them, so we cease to become unique in terms of our ability to make change. And that's a big risk they identified. Now, I think there is another way to look at an AI future where we don't feed this, overload AI and models, and where we do maintain agency through models and agents that are unique to us, that are trained for our specific purpose, that even if they learn us very well, don't necessarily then use that data in a cumulative context. And I think that's where we will preserve human agency. So when you talk about AI native dApps, which is the purpose of our topic today, I think it's going to really boil down to what environment and context that dApp is running in. If it's running in this macro context, a global LLM serving everybody's apps, then everything will get normalized very, very quickly. And it'll be very hard to make money as a trader because your techniques will be learned by the same engine that's available to everybody else. So there's going to be need for us to have community and individual owned dApps and models, because they go hand in hand. dApps don't do much if there's not a model behind it. And that containerization or segmentation is important if you want to maintain human uniqueness and human agency. And I think that's going to be clearly needed. Right now, we are too early in the game to be really thinking about it. But if you think about it from a geopolitical perspective, you already see that. India versus US versus China, they were trying to build their own LLMs. We're trying to build our own. We don't want to share them with each other. Why? Same exact reason. But if you bring it down further to a profession or to an individual, that need arises pretty dramatically as to how much of the intelligence that I inject into a model is shareable with other people who have a model of their own. So I think the AI native dApps ultimately going to become very, very tied to context of the model, and the models will become decentralized, or I hope they do. Otherwise, we are looking at a world that isn't very attractive.
Yeah, yeah, I do hope so too. That's an awesome take. Absolutely. And thanks for explaining this to the folk like like actual humans, because I'm really having a hard time keeping up. Adam, is there anything you want to add before we start wrapping things up? Time goes flying at these spaces because it's so interesting. Listen to these people.
It sure does. It sure does. And there's been some fantastic takes there from everybody, all the speakers here. Yeah, just to kind of touch on one of the things, when we talk about, like fully automating, I think one of the biggest hurdles of all is going to be the trust. And I think, Daddy Phil, we spoke about this in one of our other ones. It's going to be that trust aspect. And from humans, just if we're just going to trust all of our data and all of our decision making to an AI, it comes back to what PAI3 was saying about the user intent, and having an AI agent or an AI model that is actually carrying out your intent. Because when you work with different AI models now, and AI builders and stuff like this, they do have a tendency to go off and do their own thing. That is an absolute fact with where we are right now. So having this trust factor, and especially like my AI was saying, when it comes to people's finances and their money and their crypto, let's say in the Web3 space and the trading and all that, that trust barrier is going to be a huge thing. When someone sees, oh, my wallet got drained, or given an AI control of your private keys and all that kind of stuff, and access to wallets and trade for you and all that, I think that's one thing that we really have to keep in mind. And once we can get over that barrier of trust, then I think we'll see progress. And I think also, just like PI3 was saying as well, these large language models, they are controlled by centralized companies, centralized entities right now. And a big thing is your data. So like everybody that's using all these models all the time, you are feeding them tons and tons and tons of your own data, and they're learning it all, they're soaking it all up. And that data is being used, and it is being sold in different ways by these centralized entities. So that's another trust issue. So I think there's a huge conversation, and like you were saying, on the geopolitical level, there's a huge conversation to be had about handing over that trust to autonomy and AI agents. So that's going to be a big talking point. It's going to be a big barrier, and how centralized all this data control is going to be. We have the big five right now when it came to search engines and all that kind of stuff. But now that's all moving to AI models, large language models, who are just soaking up tons of data. And how that's going to be used and protected, that remains to be seen. So we're in a good place right now, but there's a lot to be trashed out yet before full autonomy is going to be handed over and trusted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And this trust doesn't just come spring out of thin air. It comes from the trust people put in the systems we create, and it has to be earned. It cannot just we can't just use trust me bronomics at this point. We did that for a while. We've had people buying NFTs for the sake of buying NFTs, and people buying meme coins for the sake of buying meme coins. And now this doesn't work anymore. Now we have to show the world that, okay, here is the actual use case. This is how you use it. You can't just ask them to trust you. And I like the way Infiniion's approaching this. I really like it. We're almost out of time. Let's hear some of the closing statements. Miai, I see your hand up. Let's hear it from you.
Yeah, okay. I'll be quick. Very nice argument there. Points from PI3. And yes, and also I think Infinion also mentioned most of the chains are like the data is centralized. Yes, it is definitely centralized, most of it. I mean, you can build decentralized, for example, encrypted vaults, or access control or on-chain permission ones by yourself. But again, like we can't teach this AI system in this case to get more information. Yes, so that means based on that point, it will be centralized kind of the data. But to directly let, maybe he has some points for PAI3. So think of it like because he mentioned like everyone would be copying it eventually or something. It's like, for me, when I think about that, it's like anyone can use, for example, keyboard, right? Your laptop or whatever. But so how, like, if everyone can use it in your laptop, in your PC, or even in your phone, so how can any, let's say, for example, writer be different? Do you see the logic? This is what what I'm thinking in this case. Anyone can drive a car, and so why don't they just be like, why don't everyone be like a Formula One driver? So this thing will always be there, because it's not just technically copying something. It's about you, like, as a person. So it's not like what you use, or it's how it's for example, it's in this case how you write it, how you are educated about your vocabulary to make it perfect, and how also you train it. So if you already know what works, what doesn't work, and what part to take, and like, again, you're not, as like, for example, from the trading standpoint, you're not staying in the market for very long time. You're always going in and out, always. So the logic behind it is, it doesn't need to it needs to understand and analyze all the information, and then go like immediately and execute. That's the only thing we want in this case, me, from my side at least. And most of the agents, for example, now they do prompt in and then answer out kind of thing, or limited to training data. You give them, let's say, 1-2 days of data, and then they will basically try to replicate that. And also they have isolated tools. So I mean, if this is what we are like trying to avoid, and just make it very authentic to your personal logic. And I think if that
Right. Yeah.
happens, it still will
And
work. I
personal
mean, this is
personal agents also help in that. When we have younger the generation is, uh, the easier it gets to train your agent to your specific needs and the way you do things, like to get it as young as possible. And we've discussed this, I believe, the educational part. Maybe we'll discuss it later again. But it is a really interesting thing when children have AI, for example. Nowadays, anybody can have ChatGPT, and imagine you have somebody that you talk like this all the time, and they learn. This ChatGPT learns, or any other AI. ChatGPT doesn't need to be the only example, but the AI learns on you the things over the course of years and even maybe decades. Then that becomes really, really interesting, what it can do. Okay, let me throw it over to people. Andrew, let's hear your final thoughts. You missed out on a lot, so let's hear it. Here's anything you want to say before we wrap things up.
Sorry, my internet just dropped. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's the
No
heat,
problem.
because here it's
Unfortunately,
like, yeah, it's
oh,
40 something degrees. Everybody's with the
Jesus
AC is
Christ.
plugged, so I think the internet just dropped. So at the ending, I don't know what to say. Maybe about me something. Can we do it?
Well, I mean, yeah, keep it short then.
Yeah, I was super sure. So, guys, just give us a follow. We have an incredible partnership with Kraken with over 25K in airdrop. The password or the secret word is people. So go check out the in key from the Kraken, register, put your password, and you're gonna be eligible for the giveaway. That's it.
All right, nice. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you coming in even at the end, to sign off. Let's say, Vitamin. Anything you want to add, sir, before we wrap things up? Today was a really interesting conversation. Let's hear it from you.
Yeah, sure. To wrap it all up, we are moving into an era where dApps won't just execute logic, They will negotiate, learn, and adapt. That's really exciting, but it comes with responsibility. We need to design the system with transparency, shared agency, and user empowerment at the core. So at Vitamin AI, we are already seeing how AI agents can unlock more creativity, better decisions, and more ecosystems as long as we build them thoughtfully. So again, thank you so much for having me. This was a really amazing conversation. Feel free to connect with me if anyone wants to. Okay.
Thank you, sir. It was a really interesting conversation, and we have the responsibility. I agree with you. We have the responsibility to make these things easier to digest, easier to use. 3NS, anything you want to add before we wrap today's talk?
Yeah, so thank you a lot for inviting us here. It's really interesting hearing all the specialists, and yeah, we truly believe in the power of AI and how it can be decentralized and be uh, used to really create a real connection to not just your clients, but to anyone that follows your what your domain may be, whatever it may be, any interest that you might have. AI can power it and create real connections to anyone that can visit. So we're looking forward to this future. Thank you so much again.
Thanks, sir. That's a really good future. I hope it is as positive as we make it seem. Not gonna lie. Um, um, Pradeep, anything you want to add?
Well, first, thank you for another amazing X Space, and you are a really great host. You keep the conversation going, and you make this really enjoyable. So, thanks for bringing us all together, and all the great speakers. I always love listening to Miai and Vitamin, and 3NS has recently joined. So, great to be here and be part of this conversation. To all the listeners, I would say this: AI is at the beginning. We cannot really fathom the depth of change that this is going to trigger in our lives. The way we live, the way we work, the way we love, is all going to change, and not necessarily good and not necessarily bad. So you have to keep an open mind, get engaged, with us, with Vitamin, with MI, because we're all trying to make sure that AI ends up being in our service rather than controlling us all. And that's I think the underlying common theme we all have as a Web3 community: human agency, self sovereignty, control over our data, control over our money. And in many ways, AI is going to force us, all of us, to confront the way we live with whole new parameters. So I think the Web3 community as a whole is truly at the forefront of rethinking the world we want to be in, and not let us be pushed into a world that others will design for us. And I'm really proud to be part of this community, and I welcome all of you to follow all the speakers, including us. And thank you for having us here.
Absolutely love to have you, sir. Thanks so much. Always, always learning a lot from you. And yeah, exactly. We cannot fathom the sheer amount of impact AI is going to have on our lives in the future, in the coming years. And it is becoming more and more apparent to make it more digestible. That's why we hold these spaces to understand and somehow figure out what is the best, how best to position ourselves into this new revolution. With that being said, thank you guys so much for jumping in. It was a very, very enjoyable hour, as it is every single week. We do this every Tuesday at 1 p.m. UTC. Make sure to check out Infinion and follow all the other speakers that have been speaking. These people are actually really awesome. You heard them firsthand. With that being said, as I will be back next week. Until then, enjoy your week. Cheers. Bye bye.